Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining and meeting me here. Seifu Dad, thank you very much for calling in. I just thought I would duck in and say hello. I haven't really been on that much in recent days, so I thought I would just see the people, see if we can, if there's any discussion points or topics or anything like that that anyone wants to talk about. I can at least try and put in my 2 bobs worth and see what happens. Can only try. But yeah, so I'll just throw around my link a little bit more and see what pops up, or who, or whatever. We shall see. But yeah, there's I see Kyoto got themselves added to the brew list for investigations at the moment. So apparently there's quite a bit of issue sort of stuff going on there. So bloody blockchain stuff. Hey, there just seems to be issues here, there, and everywhere, doesn't there? Right. It's just, yeah, it's just the way it is. And because of course I wouldn't mind using or launching something on Kyoto, and being what it is, a blockchain for projects like Carve, I suppose, and whatever is it I do. So don't know. You can only try stuff, can't you? But I didn't send a message to you. So yeah, if anyone wants to hit me up with ideas or talking points or anything like that. I've been trying to learn how to do WordPress for a website stuff. So that's the latest thing on the learnings at the moment, is trying to make a website. You know, trying to make one that actually looks okay, you know, like doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles, but got to try and do something. But yeah. Oh, that's better. I was wondering, why is calf token still existing on the website? Because it shouldn't exist. Because I removed the hosting, but it's a cache in my computer that had it. So that's why there is no calftoken.net at the moment, because that is getting hopefully renewed when I figure out how to get there. It's not as easy as what you might think. There's quite a lot to it. And yeah, I don't know. Like, just got to get past the first stage, I suppose. But I was able to remove the hosting, so I was able to do that bit. So obviously I had success with that. Because I think what I'm going to do is just make sort of all of my websites in one, I think, rather than having a domain for this and a domain for that. I think I'm just going to sort of compress it a bit and sort of have a one-stop shop type thing. I don't know. Should have a farmer's website. I don't know. Like, it is an idea though, isn't it? Well, I could. Oh, far out! I've been picking weeds, and it sounds like an easy job, but I was using the quad bike. I was actually fertilizing, liquid fertilizer, and so I was spraying the grass, and then there's some weeds that I've got to pull out because we've got these really annoying little white flowers that if you just let them get hold on your place, then it just really cuts the amount of quality feed that you have and your good grass. And by Jiminy, so it just wore me out big time. Far out, and then all I do is bloody yawn. I think I need to have an uppity drink or something. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's why Calf Token, the website, doesn't actually exist now, because I removed the hosting from it a day ago. And so if you go to calftoken.net, you'll see that it doesn't exist now. Because I'm in the process of redoing the whole website and everything. So, because as you know, Safe Food Dad, I've got a little bit going on in the background as well. So, this space is kind of weird, I find. I'll give you my little run. I've got 4 people here, so thank you very much for coming in. Thank you. Crypto space, I kind of find it where everyone wants to do their degen play sort of stuff and get on a new token and essentially do the pumpy dumpy thing. And I don't know, like, you sort of just got to hang around with a quality project, just doing your thing for like a period of time, and then you sort of hopefully you take hold and like you just do your thing. Because the fundamentals of things don't change. Geez, it'd be right if I'd stop yawning. I walked into this room and I'm in a room that's more well lit and everything, and I just bloody start yawning. It just drives me nuts. So it's, I don't know, it's, see the old spitty spat between, well, with Prado. He was getting all upset at people like Greek and, no doubt myself. And he was doing his thing. Hi, Daniel, if you happen to be around. But Greek decided to put out a video giving his viewpoints. And of course, Daniel's not very happy with Greek's viewpoints, his opinions. And so it's kind of a little bit upset. But I find that a little bit ironic because he actually said it himself that he's being a dictator and banning people from communication. And then he has a silk about people not communicating. It's like, okay, how the fuck is someone supposed to talk to you if you remove people from being able to talk to you? And you're just going, okay, well, of course, someone's going to express their opinion. It's just like, oh, bloody hell. Is it called something like infusion weed killer? Yeah, I can use MCPA, which is a targeted weed killer, but and generally MCPA is pasture safe, but I don't like to use too much MCPA, and it doesn't really give you this stupid bloody weed that we got. For some reason, it's all on the road verges and shit around the south of Stadia. It's just terrible stuff. Strike him down, whale miner. The Greek guy should keep his nose out of it. Oh, well done, mate. It's so damn hard, isn't it? Because, like, obviously, essentially what Greek's saying is right, though. That's the thing, so, but of course, they're doing their thing, but, the thing that Mr. Prado lost me on is that touching the untouchables. Like, you go on the live stream or you talk to your community and you tell them that 99.3% of the supply or whatever it is untouchable. You cannot touch them at all, ever. He was saying that. And then all of a sudden, now that it's launched, they start withdrawing those untouchables and like gave them away to the central exchange, which got sold on them. They giving them away as prizes and things like that. Those tokens are never meant to get touched. Those are set aside for the rebasing. And, I have the admission in my direct messages with Prado where he said that they had to touch them because of the rebasing aspect, but he never, he conveniently, wonder why I got a light reflection in, it's in that spot there. I don't know what causes that. Looks like I've got two lights. But it's creating just a lot of inflation, and it's just It's not designed for it. So he's essentially putting it under huge pressure in such early days, like just throwing around like candy. And yet you got to remember that with your tokens, you'll end up paying a price. That, like it's the yin and yang. You do something and it has a different effect, or an effect on something that you mightn't really like. And so it just becomes rather challenging to not make things more difficult for yourself. but yeah, and it's going to stay that way as well. There's no doubt about that. There's always going to be things happening, because people want their DGen plays and just to do their thing. They just want to, keep doing pumpy dumpies and just doing their thing. That's what people want to do. So, it's just the way it is, where the space kind of Greek the scam hunter now. He started with BL vids, now calling Prado. He's just trying to keep his YouTube channel alive. Give the fella a chance. He's trying. Like, I don't know what else he's meant to do. He's doing his thing. Yeah. I actually get on with Greek well. I used to get on with Prado well, but Prado decided to banish me because he just saw Greek's video. Don't blame Greek for his protecting the community like you. Well, I'm not overly vocal about anything, except for I will say some stuff, but I don't really try and throw sticks and stones too much, because I just let people like Greek or whoever wants to take up the fight to do their thing. I don't. I have enough trouble trying to have the energy just to do other stuff, let alone fight battles. Like I have a lot to do in brew, yes, and the guys in there are really good to me. That's right, but I don't really play one side or the other. Yes, people know my position. That's right, absolutely, and I'm happy to say that position. But I don't get into fights or slinging matches because it's just energy draining for me, and I'm just not in a position where I want to be sapped of what little energy or motivation there might be within myself. I've got to think of my own family and stuff, like you can't just, Greek's obviously in a different position, and so he's just doing what he's doing, and he's entitled to do that, of course. I'm definitely an advocate of free speech. You can say what you want to say, and of course, Greek is presenting perfectly valid points. When you're talking about inflation or whatever, guess what? That's a perfectly valid point. Touching the untouchables, it's a perfectly valid point because it's been done. The 2% tax on gifts, he's allowed to because they have a 2% tax on gifts. Like all of the stuff that he said was right. So, he's allowed to make a video if he chooses to do so and present whatever he wants to present. It certainly doesn't need my approval to produce content, but I know it is, they're just vocal people. Like Crypto YouTubers are the worst. They all turn each other in the end. Yeah. And that's the sort of shit that I don't want to get involved in, you see. That's why I'm not a crypto YouTuber per se. You know, like I do me thing, yes, and you know, like I'm here talking to you guys, yes, and we're crypto stuff, yep, but I don't want to get involved in talking stupid shit about people, what they do or don't do, because I'm burnt out of that. Like it just gives me the shits. Like seriously, I just don't need that sort of shit in my life where you just feel like you always got to fight wars all the time. Like I've got enough of my own shit without having to worry about that. But of course, other YouTubers see it differently and want it for either protecting community, notoriety, building a fan base. You can call it whatever you want, but they're free agents to do what they want to do. At the end of the day, you're a free person. You have the choice to do it however it is that you want to do it. So yeah, but I do understand, like it is disappointing where we just come out of a massive scammy thing with Brian and Seifu and that, and then the lead Schiller, who's Daniel, and far and away who was the lead Schiller, puts out content saying that, like he's learnt from you and all this sort of stuff, and then produces essentially the same stuff. And it's just like, didn't you get it the first time round? Like, but of course, Brian had the advantage because when he was doing his wash trading, that because of course the taxes went to him, and that's what's happening now is the taxes are going to Daniel. So the brew fire is full of broke ass haters. The people making heaps on crypto never get into the drama. Let noobs fight and get rich watching. Yep. When I say I have a lot to do in there, I am I don't know. I talk in there. Do I get overly involved? I don't think so. Because like I say, I don't really care to be over involved. But of course, I want to learn from you, Whale Miner, and I still haven't heard from you. Still trying to figure out how to get in contact with you, so I can. I'm sure you've got the skills and the know-how and all that sort of stuff, knowledge to pass on, or at least state your side. But yeah, as far as the fight, personally, I just don't want to be involved in. Oh yes, I'm involved as such, I know, and I'm doing the thing with Australians, or trying to get more Australians that have lost on Seifu to do a certain action. Where I have another Discord set up where they can direct message me. So if any Australians see this at all, please contact me. because we're doing something. But that's the fight that I'm mainly in. But it is what it is, like, sorry, my chronic pain just doesn't like leaving me alone. It's always just niggling away. I've got 2 patches on at the moment, and yeah, geez, it still likes getting me. There's no solution as such. It's just what it is. Yeah. But yeah, I know they do their fair share of mudslinging talkies. Some of it gets a bit annoying because it's round in circles. There's so much of it is just things that, I hope I am. I do what I do, and I try to be as good as I can be. But of course, that's only up to someone's interpretation. So, what might be good to one person mightn't be good to another. I don't know. Sometimes you just can't bloody win. But at the end of the day, yeah, try to. And yeah, Greek's doing a great job at putting his hand up and throwing bombs, isn't he? It's just sit back and watch the show. Just let them do their thing. Where they oh god, where they just have their old, I don't know, you could almost call it turf battles, but the thing is, Greek doesn't have a project out there at the moment, so it's not really a turf warfare, is it? Imagine if Greek did right now, far out. Jeez. But, I think that when you come from a position where you've got a project, or things going on, I think you've sort of got a, well, this is my opinion, where you really want to put a degree of separation between you and fuddy type talk, because like, I know whether I do a little bit on here, but I'm sure you guys get my opinions and whatever. G'day, OBZ. Thank you very much for calling in. You're all's well, yeah. I'll just say yeah. You know how you can just about have your head cut off and you still say yes? Life's funny like that. Where you just, there you go, mate. Yeah, I'm going good. And it's like, you're bloody hobbling along. I remember one time on the farm here, I lit a fire and I had a permit to do it. and the fireys turned up and they were spitting their dummy at me. But they said, "Oh, what's going on?" And I said, "Oh, nothing to see here. It's all good. It's all right." And we're running around like scolded cats, trying to deal with what we just created for ourselves. And it was like, yeah, nothing to see here. No, it's all good. It's all under control. And yet we were next thing, the bombers come in. We had the whole lot going off, and it was like, oh, bloody hell. But I say that because I've been out in the paddocks and me chronic pain's kind of giving me the shits at the minute. So yeah, I think Pratik can make it work, but he's trying to rush and not doing his research. He needs to slow down and stop talking about these. Lots of promises and hopes and dreams to try. He's trying to stimulate trading by using, like the draw of incentives, and that's a difficult thing to sustain. Unfortunately, in the crypto space, and I'm sure you know this well, Miner, people will either trade your token or they just won't. And unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast. There's obviously certain things you can do to help, and hype is something that certainly helps, but it's very difficult to sustain the hype. That's what I find very hard in the space. Like, you get projects and they pump the hype and everyone's going, hey, it's amazing, it's amazing. Oh, so wonderful. But then when that, they just can't keep that level 10 ecstasy going anymore. And it starts to, and then once it does that, then of course it's like house of cards, they all fall down. And then you get the nice little J curve and it just does what it does. What you see on every project where it just goes through its cycles. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But I haven't really been one to critique whatever Prado's doing, and I'll just leave that up to others to express their opinions. But obviously, I said about touching the untouchables. But to me, that's just a cardinal sin. You just can't do that. Like, if you promise that you can't do it, then don't do it. Even if you find out you can do it, it's just something that you just can't do. It's like touching your LP tokens. You just can't do it. Right. I don't know. It's the way I see it. Promise isn't a promise if you break the promise. There's one thing that I don't like. And I know this is it's sort of down those lines, but I'm sure you'll get it. Like if you do a job for someone and you say, no, mate, I'm all good, I don't need nothing, that's all good. And then they say to you, oh, I'll give you $100, say. And you go, yep, okay, whatever, but it's all good, but yeah, no worries. And then they just never do it. It's almost like you were offering the free gift of whatever it is that you're doing, and you're happy to do that. And then they turn it around where they offer you something, but because they don't give you something, they feel like you've received something and you haven't done it, for your kindness and generosity. And so it's sort of like you've not only been ripped off whatever it is that they promised you, but you got ripped off from the privilege of giving them your generosity. And it's like, that kind of thing is just annoying. Where, like, because nearly everything I do for other people around here, I just do for nothing. So, if someone wants something, it's like, whatever, just do it. Anything, it doesn't matter. But if they offer something in return, well, then great. But all too often it turns out to be where that offer never comes through. It's just like, why couldn't you just leave it at the freebie that was originally the arrangement? Like, it's just funny how it works like that with some people. Exactly, Keith. You do, because the farmers won't. Yeah, I know. You could talk to any of the farmers around here, and that's what you'll hear is that, when the golf club needed to put in reticulation, I had a little bobcat and a trencher, and I just trench it. And they say, "What do you want for it?" Nothing. Just do it. Whatever. Farmer needs some welding doing or whatever. No worries. He's got mechanical repairs or whatever. Like carting dirt, whatever it might be. Like, always been there to help out the fellow person that needs something done. It's just what everyone should do, is essentially like a pay it forward, where you just do stuff. Sure, you can go around saying, "Oh, I want this, I want that," but you sort of hope that, hasn't he what? Prado's dug himself a hole, but I think that's a lot of his problems are your map. No shit about what he's doing. Oh, seriously, they. So, Whale Miner, you're obviously watching what's going on. I wasn't sure how much you do or don't see, but obviously you're around and see enough happening. I said this to Daniel, is that one thing that you do, which is your character, is that you just can't stop just talking stuff. I see everything. Good on you, Whale Miner. Everything, everywhere. Wow, you got an exciting life watching us. But he can't help but just say stuff. Like, it just astounds me. Like, I have him on the live stream, and he comes out with all this stuff, and I'm just going, "Oh God!" Right? It's so much hopium, and it's just like, the reality of a trading market's going to hurt you, because I've seen it all before, where someone comes up with a project and they think that it is infallible, where it's just going to, and it's reality starts to set where the trading volumes aren't really what you anticipated, or whatever it might be, or there's some other development challenges that come in, or whatever it might be. There's so many things, but of course Daniel's good at digging himself a bigger hole. It's almost like if he like he dug a hole and then he keeps on digging, and he gets a bigger spade to dig it even more. And then he gets an excavator and then starts digging it some more. And it's just like, man, at some point, just stop digging, please. Just stop digging. Like, just put the brakes on. Just slow it down a bit. Just stop digging. It's like, oh, fucking hell, like, because his enthusiasm just gets the better of him, like nodes. And it was like, man, just chillax. Just take it easy, son. But no, he's got to be a bull at a gate. And it's just, unfortunately, that is on him. But him and your map, match made in heaven, I suppose. Because they're both maxis and love the ego. Geez, I'm being a critiquer tonight, aren't I? I'm probably getting a shit for this, saying too much. Oh, if anyone took offence to what I've got to say, then, geez, it looks like I've been messed up my bed, even though it's not my bed. Yeah, okay. Message me then, Daniel, seeing that you blocked me. And I was nice to you as well, even though you reckon I wasn't. And that's I just find it rather funny. You want this communication with people like Greek or whatever, and then you block them. And it's just like, okay. Yeah, I know the rules change from country to country and stuff like that. So, yeah, but that sort of stuff I have no idea about. Love Daniel. He was so passionate and enthusiastic, but he needed to step back like everyone else in this community. I know that's what I always said to that. I've said it on live stream with Daniel, is that the passion is just so thick with him. Like, holy shit, you've never seen anyone with so much passion, so much gusto as what he presented. Hence why he was such a good motivator for Brian to get people into safety, because people were drawn to that passion. You know, like he said things with power, with conviction to some. You know, I know some would have seen it as being overbearing and whatever, but of course you always got people with their different viewpoints, you know, like, but to the vast majority, he was Brian's perfect shiller because of the passion. He truly believed in what he was sold. And yeah, that Darcy lady is another one that's not worth to paying. Well, I said that back in the SAFU days, the LSC days. I'm talking about, oh, Jesus, nearly 12 months ago now, where they employed Darcy to do, and they had her on live streams and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, like, what are they doing? Anyway, your map loves her. Like, that is just your map. That one. He just can't help himself. He goes, Darcy, and just thinks that, you know, like she walks on water. Most influencers went into protection mode of their communities. Yeah, because anyone that would just as you know, the problem with Daniel is that he was indebted and he played it out. You know, like he told everyone his issues with his crypto debts, and he wanted a way of recouping that debt, essentially, is, you know, out of the same community, and it was the wrong space and time to do it. But of course, you can do it. You can do whatever you want. Like I've always said to him, I support a CEO to do it as long as you're just doing the right thing, of course. But like he chose to do what he chose to do at that point in time. But and that's why, unfortunately, he didn't learn like the rest of us. That's right. Where he just needed to just. But of course, he had his financial pressures on, where he just felt that he needed to take charge, take action, and deal with his problems then and there. But problem is that he just gave himself a bigger shovel, excavator, fucking, oh man, he just kept on friggin' digging. But yeah. But of course, there's an old saying, that you bite off more than you can chew and then chew like hell. That's, I guess you could say he was doing that. You still can't deny his passion and his drive. He's doing his thing. And absolutely makes him do some funny things. I'm just amazed that when you put a bag full of money in front of so many people, that they just well, there you go. In business, you're always trying to push the boundaries. So essentially, take a bigger bite. But if you take a too big a bite, then you essentially choke and you go backwards. All right. But if you can take a too big a bite, but then chew it feverishly and manage to come out the other end, then you can do really well. So he's certainly taken a big bite. Oh shit! Someone watching this back will just see me crack up laughing at times, and it's just like, oh my god, but it's true. like I've done too many risky things to put myself or the community in that position. I just wouldn't want to do it. I just can't believe like even just stupid shit, the NFT money being locked away. It's like, oh my god, like, and then they use the untouchable tokens to pay the central exchange, and then it gets dumped on them, and it's like, oh my god, and it's just like, please just slow down. You don't need to go so friggin' hard. But of course, whatever. It's interesting space, isn't it, guys? Like with what the things that people do, you get to see all the different characters, don't you? And like the different managerial techniques on how they it's definitely a calamity of errors. Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. But I think that it was the drive for ultimate success in a very short period of time that has led to that calamity of errors, where he just bit off. At this point in time, he's bitten off way too much. But he's chewing like hell, like he's giving it to it. Right. But he's obviously still a long way back to getting to where he needs to be. But, give the man a chance. He's doing his thing. You got to have some sort of go-getters out there in the world, don't you? Risk takers. I guess. Otherwise, you might end up with people going to space. There you go, Daniel. I've just compared you to someone going to space. Sorry, comedy of errors. It's almost like it's predictable, though, because it was like when I was watching Brian's stuff, you know, every single thing that Brian done, like all their daps and stuff, you know, always fucked up. Like, seriously, everything. And it was just like, everything's just going to be wrong. And it was so predictable. You could become a millionaire by just taking on bets, couldn't you? Like, of someone that didn't know any better. And you say, I bet you that when those nodes sell, that something's going to happen. You know, the DApp's not going to work, you know, or whatever. And ESCO launch and some sort of bullshit thing or whatever, you know, like, it was just so predictable on every bloody thing. And unfortunately, poor old Danny boy's doing the same shit, where it's just, unfortunately, just, as he said, he's learned from the master. He fucking learned all right. Oh, shit. I mean, a bit of Australian comes out. But it's just, I feel sorry for the bloke, I do, because it's just like his extreme drive and motivation and passion is just keeps on pushing the goalpost further and further away. And, you know, like, you can see it there. He's looking at it and he's going, oh, I've got you in my sights. I've got you in my sights. And I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get that target, you know. I'm going to accomplish this. And then he comes up with all these cock and boodle ways of fucking how he's going to get there. And then he launches whatever it is. And then all of a sudden it's just like, and it's like, what the fuck happened there? And it's in a damage control. Shit. Put it all back together. I'm sorry, everyone, blah, blah, blah. And then gets back going again in some way or another. And then, right, now that target, it's got a bit smaller, but right, let's go for it again. And repeats the process. And it's just like, oh my God, like, just chill. Just take it easy. The community, I know that people love their hypey sort of pumpy dumpy stuff, but just chillax a bit and just let them get accustomed to doing whatever volume they choose to do. And yeah, I don't know. It's not easy, is it? It's OBZ having a laugh and 100. Must have said something funny. Problem with projects, and I find this a lot when I'm looking around in the space. Now, you can agree and disagree, and whatever. I don't care. Like, obviously, I love to hear your opinion, but I just get astounded with how many projects are always pushing out stuff to try and to build on hype, like whether it be an NFT drive for something or whatever, and the returns don't play out the way it was designed. So it's almost like it was a failed proposition before it even started. And I think that when you culture your community into always seeing you produce the goods, then they just want to see you producing so they can do their little pump and dump cycles as they're, watching the ebbs and flows and the hype. Obviously, that happens with lower taxing tokens all the easier, but albeit the rules still stay the same. It's just obviously the parameters are moved a little bit with the higher taxes. But I think that some project owners, teams, whatever, put themselves under undue pressure for deliverance and end up falling into these holes, whereas they would have been better off not doing anything. Like, for argument's sake, I'll give you like, as you know, CAF is in a hiatus at the moment, right? Now, when CAF gets relaunched, it's going to be relaunched at a position where it was like a month ago. Okay. Now, everything else in our community space has fallen by heaps in that period of time. Talking like, I don't want to say specific names, but if you look at any of the ones in our space of what's happened in the last month, and you see how much they've fallen, and yet CAF is staying the same. So the hiatus is actually a good thing. Like, putting it on pause for the time being is a good thing. Sure, it's not good for volume and for hype and all that sort of stuff, but for people's investments, it's a good thing. It's almost like less is more. I'll probably relaunch it and everyone will end up wanting to cash out. I don't know. It's a free market. They can choose to do whatever they want to do, of course. But when you're in my position and you look at what's going on, and then you look at, like missed opportunities or whatever it is, I'm sorry, I don't see hardly any missed opportunities within this space as an owner. Because when I watch other projects doing their thing, so much of it just falls flat on its face. And I'm just like, why? Why do that to your community? Why offer up these promises and hopes and dreams? And no, I'm not just talking about Daniel. I'm talking about projects as a cluster of them. Why do it? I know there can be some funny part is we have a solid project running with NFTs, a marketplace, a raffle DApp, an auction DApp, all made by Fowler. The community chases something instead of support a good quality project. Well, you're speaking a bit above my head there. I am aware of some things that Fowler's doing, and I can't include him in what I was just saying because I don't know. So please exclude Fowler's. I get on really well with Fowler, but I'm totally oblivious to the awareness to what's going on there. So I have zero opinion on what. I'm certainly not saying that anything negative there. So whoever watches this, don't take it away because I definitely won't. Anyway, funny part is we have a solid project running with NFTs, a marketplace, a raffle DApp, an auction DApp, all made by Fowler. Yeah, I know. I haven't actually had a look at it. Obviously, I've been talking to him in private about that for what sort of help that he might be able to. I know. Oh, please, please don't be sorry. No, I'll talk about anyone and any project. I just because it says calf up here doesn't mean it's calf. No, I'm happy to talk to anyone about anything. That's why you see, like I get a variety of guests from time to time. So yeah, please don't. Yeah, that's a non-issue. If Fowler wants to join me on a live stream, I'm more than happy to talk about his project. Absolutely. Now, when you say the community chases something instead of supporting a good quality project, they're chasing on other projects, I'm presuming you're meaning, because they can see there's these hopes and dreams are promised to them, and instead of supporting a quality project. I know, but I find the same thing with calf too. Like it's different, like, but I'm totally restructuring the token. But if you want a real project, calf is a real project, as I'm sure Fowler is a real project. Cosmic Space Force is a real project. Property Flex is a real project. We do have a little group of things happening within our space that are real projects, and you don't have to keep chasing the essentially what turns into Ponzi schemes. So obviously, projects are structured differently, and that's great, because there's no way that Fowler would want to be structured like what I do, and vice versa, because we're all independent and we're allowed to do our same thing. But it's, to me speaking here, I am extremely happy when someone comes up with their ideas and is able to do their own thing. Like Fowler, like Kryptonian, and with Milky with their Property Flex, and or NR, a group of them. I love seeing people doing their own thing. And then I get this question: how's the calf going? I'll tell you, it's getting the contract has been giving me the shits like you wouldn't believe. It's so simple to do. I wasn't happy with the first contract they sent me, because to me, it just wasn't correct enough. It wasn't really what I requested. And so I told them to stick it and come back to me with something better, something that I actually asked for. And so maybe I'm on the wait list because of that. I don't know. Maybe I was told I was going to have it at the beginning of this week, and obviously it's the end of this week, so I'm still fucking waiting. So I don't know. Like, yeah, I hope sooner than later, yes. And then I've got a lot more happening after that, so watch this space. But yeah. It's g'day Zero Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been all right. I've been out spraying fertilizer and picking weeds, so I'm feeling a bit worse for wear now, but that doesn't take too much. Like Keith with calf. I presume you're meaning like awesome projects. We're trying. Like, I got a little team chat thing. Well, not so much a team, but a group chat thing where I have a group of people that I discuss, issues with. Okay. And I haven't made it public because I don't want to play the poor me and sympathy votes and shit like that. But at the moment, and now I am going to play a little bit of sympathy stuff. Whether you give a fuck or not, it's up to you. But it's forces that are out of our control to do with calves, where the market forces are absolutely atrocious. Seriously, we've been doing this since 2013, so 10 years now. Was it September? It'd be just about 10 years to the month, I think. And at the moment, the market is so bad, like you wouldn't believe. This, when you talk about losses on Seifu, that's nothing compared to what we've had losses on cattle in this last 12 months. And so really, like, what do we do? And so I'm taking it on as much as I can to try and get the project to help. So I'm doing more things, as like I'm waiting for this bloody contract, but I'm doing more things within this space, obviously extending the community reach outside of this space to hopefully be able to get some appeal and some support, like. But all I can tell you is the what we do is as real as it gets. Like, it is, we are seriously in dire straits with trying to do what we're doing, and it's almost to that position of like, you just can't do it anymore. But of course, we're not giving up, but I just got to be better at doing what I'm doing. I've got to be better at marketing, forming a community, something. I don't know. It's just what it is. But instead of like the high tax stuff, I've just gone for low tax stuff. But of course, in saying that, I haven't even gone for any tax for myself. All I've done is paying rewards. And so, in other words, everyone gets 100% of the tax, wallet appropriate. So I don't want to take from people as such. Like, all I want to do is to get my fair share. Like if you're a holder, you get your fair share, and so on and so forth. No special privileges for anyone. And that will do me just fine. Because like, I like to be as fair as possible with people. I don't personally, I just can't see how you can run a project with taking a tax and removing the money out of the ecosystem. I personally just can't see that as being anything that you can go forwards with. Maybe my opinions will change in time going forward, but I just can't see it. Like, if you're taking, 1, 2, 10%, whatever it might be, out of your ecosystem, it's just, you're basically putting a big iron ball around your ecosystem that just makes it where it just can't function. You just, you need to have that revenue to stay within the cycle. I know that when you're paying rewards, like for the new calf, is just 2% buy and 2% sell tax, and then 100% of that is returned to holders in, like, it'll be on the next blockchain, which is Grove, so it'll be returned in Grove coin, and so it's not in the not in calf, but it's paid in Grove. But it means that I don't get any red candles. Like, there's a treasury for calf, and it means that it can pay liquidity in that, and it's already got the Grove pair. And then that Grove reward, then I can buy calf with it to add to the Grove that's in there to make liquidity. And so that only puts buy pressure on calf. I'm trying everything I can not to put red candle influence on the chart. So that's the type system that I've gone with. So yeah, I really, really have a passion for real projects in the real space doing real things. And whether it be my own thing or, of course, other people doing their thing, I have this unrelenting passion for people that are doing real things. Because I just absolutely love seeing the honest, the true, the real, the authentic stuff that people are creating and doing with their project. Like mine is like the cause for the calves. It's a different thing. You would surely there is not other stupid people in this world to do what we're doing, but there's not many of us. So of course, especially in the crypto space. So then of course, Fowler's not going to be doing calves. He's going to be doing whatever he's doing, and probably Fleet's going to be doing whatever they're doing. Like I understand that everyone is unique and doing their thing in the space and making things hopefully better within their group, within their community, within the people that they can touch with their projects, and that's bloody good to see. I love it. Things are authentic, but of course the biggest challenge I find is that maybe this is my perception, maybe not, I don't know, but I'll just tell you what I think is that I tend to find that when you've got a real project doing real stuff, it tends to be a bit of a distractant to people doing crypto trading. Because you don't really want people to get emotionally involved. You want them just to freely trade. And that's why I try not to do heartstring emotional attachment stuff. Because I can obviously present content that, would want people to purchase calf, but not want to sell it. But of course, in any healthy ecosystem, you need it to just do its thing. Yeah, ideally, you want people to do degen plays, make $1 here, $1 there, whatever it might be, but to just do their thing. And then if they choose to just hold it, well, then of course they're paid their rewards, so that helps a bit. But that's where my passion lies, is in the real stuff, not just fakey, pumpy, dumpy sort of degen, hype-driven shit. Because anyone can, like, if we all got together and formulated a community right here, right now, and then sucked in as many people as we could and just made up this stupid bullshit token that did nothing except for the potential for some of us to make some money. Like, we could all do that. If we gathered together, we could do that right now, right here, and just do it. But what does it truly achieve? Apart from just a Ponzi, hypey, pumpy, dumpy, what does it do? Like, people are going to get hurt. And that's why it's like, just don't care about that shit. Like, have some real stuff doing real things. So yeah, that's my opinions on quality of projects, I suppose. And you don't have to look too far to see some quality projects popping up now within this space, that just aren't driven on stupid shit, that are real, doing stuff. So yeah. Anyway, everyone, Formula One qualifying is about to start, and I'm going to go and watch it. Absolutely. Thank you very much, OBZ and Zero Cool and Seifu Dad and Whale Miner, who sees everything. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for joining and for having a chat. It's absolutely fantastic. And like I say, absolutely appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you very much for well, hopefully it's good. It'd be interesting to see. Maxi's got his work cut out by the looks of it. I don't know whether he's actually sandbagging or not, but Ferrari, for whatever reason, are doing really well at Singapore. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really quite curious. Can he do 10 in a row? Bloody hell, he's been dominating. It's just unbelievable. But yeah. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Cheers for everything. I obviously can't do it without you. So, well, I could, but I'll be just bored shitless talking to myself. Love yous all. Thank you very much. Take care. Cheers. See ya.